Hi, I'm Natasha Lockhart. Today on Studio Chatter, we'll dive into back to school. Yep, it's that time again.
I'm Stacy Beck. As school starts, we'll talk to a high school principal about what we need to know to prepare.
And I'm Angie Murphy. We'll talk about an active way to build self-confidence in our children.
And we'll talk about those important school lunch options, that and much more on Studio Chatter. Welcome to Studio Chatter. The last days of summer were not at all relaxing. I can't wait for school to start so I can take a breath.
I bet not.
And then we don't. Here we go.
Oh my gosh, I know. That smoky air out there. My gosh.
Yeah, there's no breathing outside. Breathe
there
inside.
isn't. We went to go to the Spanish Fork pool, and I pulled up, and I'm like, girls, I'm texting them. I'm like, there's no one here. We're going to be first in line. And
What
then
day?
it was closed. It was on Friday.
Okay, I was ready to go, had my suit on, my sundress, had my little grandson. And as I'm driving down, I'm like, this looks really, really bad. I don't think we should be out.
No, and I did. Like, we opened our door, and like, it felt funny. And like, I almost like felt like I had goggles on that were like hazy or something.
Hopefully
it was bad.
goes away soon.
We ended up having to go to an indoor pool because there was multiple outdoor pools closed that day. But did you make it anywhere?
No.
Yeah.
Olive
guys, it was
Garden,
bad.
does that count?
Yes.
In a swimsuit
Swimming.
with a swimsuit cover up.
So my mom is super cute.
I love that.
She was watching Gunner while I was away with Barrett. But he wanted to practice soccer because he has a soccer tournament this week. So she was outside running his ball with him, and they had on their masks
Because of the air pollution?
so they wouldn't be breathing the air. But
I
bless her
can't
heart.
believe that would do any better.
I don't know that it was doing any good, but she's like, I was doing really good for my age, and I was keeping up with him,
Oh,
and so
good
they
for
were out
you.
there running the ball back and forth and had on their masks. But if anybody cares to check, if you ever want to check the air quality, it's purpleair.com. Just because I know that because they won't play soccer games if the air quality is poor enough.
Okay.
Because Gunner has games Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Just
Wow. I know I looked at my app that shows the weather,
yeah,
and then it
It
even
tells
showed
you,
that
yeah.
down below. But we had like several, like the red and gray game got canceled. I know around the valley there were several
That's
like
too bad.
events.
Yeah,
It was sad.
It's a downer not to see the mountains.
Yep. But we went up to, so me and my sisters went on a little weekend getaway, and we went up to Sundance and Footloose. And it was open there,
did
and
you
it was
see
so
it?
it was so good, you guys. And then it was so cute. I went and sat down, and I saw someone like kind of waving at me, and I was like, "Who's that?" And then it was Barbara Acion, which I worked with in the PTA years back, and then she's been a patient at Dr. Cloward's, and so she's like, "My son is Ren." And so her son was like the main
wow.
actor, and he did so great. So Barbara, if you're out there anywhere, he was fabulous. But it was
lucky
really
you.
awesome.
It's hard to get those tickets too, isn't it?
So hard. My sister got them for her family, and then when we planned this trip, she's like, "We'll just bring up my husband." So he came with us with this 4 sisters. And,
Okay.
and
I
we
took
went
my
on our way.
husband once. His birthday's in July, so I gave him tickets to whatever it was at Sundance the next month. He leans over during the middle of the show. We don't ever need to do this kind of thing again. He hates the arts.
Oh,
So
Rhett
I
was
just-
dying, wanting to go.
Oh,
Yes.
no, I just know, don't take Chris to Hell Center Theater or anything.
Really?
Take the girls or a
Go with
friend.
the girls or my mother-in-law. and
But out there
Yeah.
was so, it's just beautiful.
It is.
And I felt like we kind of lifted out of the like yucky
Oh, that's
air a
good,
little
yeah.
bit. It was a teeny bit better up there. So
Oh,
that
I'm
was nice.
so jealous. I wanted to see that one in particular. I'm like, oh, Footloose
I
would
bet
be
it was good.
so
It made me want to
good.
dance and sing a little
Speaking
bit.
of grandma,
Yes.
I became grandma number 3.
Oh, yes, congratulations.
So, on Friday.
Friday.
we
Okay,
had
so
a
tell us about it.
grandson.
Okay.
His name's Brady Beck. So we're super excited. He has a ton of dark hair.
He
And
does, like
yeah.
his mama. Well,
yes, but it's thick and dark, and the roots are blonde.
Stop it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so
Yeah.
cute. So maybe it's going to come out blonde.
Maybe
in the
so.
End. How was Braden as a baby?
He was born with dark hair, but then it
He
was
was.
blonde by 6 months.
Okay.
Yeah, and then my daughter will get induced in 2 days.
Wow, how
Stay
fun.
you're like what I did with Mallory and
I know,
Kins
I
that last
remember
time.
that.
It was like we got one done, got him settled at home, and then
Off
we
to
did
the
again.
next.
But that's fun.
Oh, I'm so
That's-
excited.
Well, you were
I'm
both
excited.
talking about when you came in also as grandmas, you had the experience to take some grandkids shopping for back to
Yes.
school. How was that?
You sure did. Well,
So-
Stacy inspired me
And
to
my
do
cousin inspired me. When I was a little girl, my cousin's other grandma would take her school shopping. And I just thought that that was such a cool idea. I remember as a little girl thinking, I want to do that.
Right.
And I just know your budget in August with back to school and school registration, and it's a lot. So I thought if I can just take the grandkids, have some quality one-on-one time and help parents so they're not having to buy so much.
Yeah.
A 6-year-old doesn't love to shop. So you had told me Justice was at Walmart. So I was at Walmart earlier that week, and I'm like, I'll just get her some stuff now. Then we just ran over to Penny's. I bet maybe 20 minutes. I'm like, do you want to do lunch and some shopping? She's just looking at me like,
No,
I'm
that's
like,
good, Grandma.
Okay, let's get it done. we had it all done in about 20 minutes.
I should have maybe pre-planned, but Knox and Oli, I took them together. I may do it separately next year just to have more one-on-one, but they kind of wanted to go together, so I'm like, okay, let's do it. So we got to Old Navy because I thought that's maybe a good place that both of them could pick something. The little boy section was like so picked over. It was crazy.
Yes.
So
And
bad.
let's clarify Orem.
Yes,
because as they're
Orem.
filming, it's not open yet. But the
I wanted to go to
Fork Old
Spanish
Navy will
Fork
be-
and it wasn't quite open
Yep.
yet, so I'm excited when it will be. But the little girl section was better, but I went into it saying, okay, moms, I'm going to let them kind of pick what they want. Like, if it's really crazy, I'll veer them away, but I kind of let them do. So, like, Mallory dresses her very, like, monochromatic and, like, just pieces that can be worn with everything. She chose unicorn and rainbow dress, dinosaur and palm tree dress.
Which is the total difference with grandmas. Because my mom is the same way. Oh, she can have whatever she
And then
wants.
she
I'm
comes
like,
home
Sparkly
with-
pink leggings.
like,
Knox
what?
did a like camo sweatsuit. I mean, they
Yes.
look darling. They tried them on for me after. Looked darling, but it was fun to just kind of say, you know what? Like your taste matters. Let's let you
Yeah.
go for it.
Yeah.
So it was fun.
that
So thank
is-
you, friend, for that.
That's
It was
the
fun.
truth. I can't get Barrett out of the accessories. I'm like, you need actual clothes.
Yes.
You can stack all the rings that you want to, and you only have one hole in your ear, so can we move on?
Move on.
Yes.
So are
When they
you
get
done?
older, it
Are
is.
you ready?
Oh gosh, I mean, I think so. I think that it changes the older they get. I mean, Gunner's super easy. Last year was really easy. I mean, I would be happy to go back to online, really.
Totally.
You can just pick it all and put it in the bag. But I mean, for the most part, and really, you can just pick a couple of things to start.
Right, because you don't
really
need your
have-
sweaters and
right.
hoodies yet.
No.
And we did settle on some backpacks and a couple pairs of shoes. So
So good.
I think so.
Perfect.
Yeah.
What day does school start?
Wednesday the 18th.
That sounds early. Does it feel early?
I feel like it's kind of like a half week early to me.
Yes and no, but we're ready.
Okay,
like,
good luck.
Emotionally, we're
You are
yes.
ready?
Yeah,
Okay.
we're ready
Good
to
luck,
go.
Natasha.
Thanks.
Yes.
Next on Studio Chatter, we'll talk about how to please those picky eaters. Stay with us. Welcome back to Studio Chatter. The kids need lunch and moms need ideas. Our next guest will help us with this dilemma. Let's welcome Sarah Pettit, the PR manager for Macy's, to our table. Welcome, Sarah.
Hi, Sarah.
Hello. Well, you're fabulous, and we love Macy's. So tell us a little bit about how you connect with Macy's, what you do there.
Well, I work as the PR manager at Macy's, have been with Associated Food Stores for 10 years now. Absolutely love working for a local company. So when you shop at Macy's, you're supporting local. Thank you for coming by and seeing us.
Yeah, we love Macy's.
We do love Macy's.
It's been a staple in Spanish Fork for decades and decades.
Years and years. So tell us about the recent upgrade to the local Macy's.
Yes, so as you know, we just had a whole new decor, new layout. We're absolutely loving it. But who doesn't love the swig that's there?
Yes,
Right?
good, yes.
I mean, you can pull in, they'll bring the order out to you. Does it get much better than
Oh.
that?
No, it really doesn't. Because every time I go through the old Macy's, I would like take my cart first and get my Diet Coke, and then I'd start
then
to
go
shop.
around.
So to have the swig Diet Coke, it's just perfect.
Yum.
Perfect shopping.
The cart goes like this. It goes swig, sushi,
Yes.
chicken strips, ice cream,
donuts for the
yes, the cart knows the way.
That's right.
Yes.
The layout is
Pumpkin
fabulous.
cookies.
though.
Yes, we love Macy's for sure.
And the sushi bar.
Oh my gosh.
I love it.
Yes.
That's always a go-to.
And it's fresh. You know,
I
that's
know.
one of the things. At some others, they're not, but we make it fresh in store every day. So,
And long before COVID, we were ordering online and pulling in and lifting the trunk and ordering our groceries. So it was
we
cool
need to
before
remind
it was cool.
our viewers that that's still an option, right?
it is on our
order
online
online.
shopping program with Macy's Anywhere, and it's so easy. Just hop online and place your order, and we'll have it to you that day.
Yeah,
So nice.
That is nice.
Saves
I love
time.
that feature.
Which we're talking about back to school, right? And
Yes.
Save
Yes.
time. And of
Yes.
course, online shopping is one way to do that. But another way is, gosh, easy dinner solutions.
Okay,
right?
do we only have to do that for back to school, or can we do it all year?
We should do it all the
'Cause
time.
I only do easy.
This is my hack. These are my hacks, like on a regular
Okay.
basis.
Okay.
But especially with back to school, because then
Okay.
you're running back and forth. You've got
Yeah.
soccer, ballet classes, all of the things, right?
Yes.
So I just want to start by talking about our wonderful chicken kebabs. Now, if you know Macy's, you know that we have a butcher in our butcher block, and we are cutting and grinding meat throughout the day. You are going to find the freshest meat when you come to Macy's. So if you're looking to do the very best that you can with your family, you want to stop by and see our meat department. But love our chicken kebabs. So easy. Throw them on the grill. You can throw them in the oven. Super simple. This is something that's new that I wanted to talk about. So if you haven't
looks
seen
delicious.
these inside of our stores yet, so they have this blue sticker on here. It's called Easy Meals.
Oh, good visual
The
to help
price,
us.
right? Yes. But the price on these are always great, and they're done for you.
Okay.
So this is our chicken cordon bleu, and then we've got the asparagus chicken.
Oh, this one looks fabulous.
Which is so
Wow.
yummy. This is one of my favorites. And actually, I have an 8-year-old daughter. She loves this. She gobbles this right down. So if you
Good
have
to
kids,
know.
these are all very
Does
good.
that have cooking instructions on it?
Yes,
Us
it does.
non-cookers?
It does.
Okay.
And if you ever want help, this is another great reason that we have a butcher in our butcher block, is if you want to know, how do I cook the best salmon? For years, I was so intimidated with salmon
Me too.
and with ribeye, but you can talk with our butcher and they will tell you how to do it and how to do it so it's
Okay.
perfect every single time.
Okay, I need to
Good.
do that. Sometimes it feels like, okay, I'm 40 years old,
I
but
know.
I'm asking you how to cook chicken. You know what I
Exactly.
mean?
Will
But
give
it's
you
so
the
intimidating
secrets.
sometimes.
It can be, but
Yeah.
not when you come to Macy's and not with our butchers, because they will tell you all the secrets so that you can do it right. It's easy, right?
I love
like-
that because you
I
can
like
just
that
throw
too.
that on the grill or the
And-
oven and put some rice in the rice cooker
so
and you're
easy.
good.
And then we've got the stuffed mushrooms too,
Okay, those
which
look
Ew,
delicious.
those look
so
so good, huh?
so yummy. And then this is a staple. Again, I mentioned I have an 8-year-old, right? And so sometimes you're just looking for something quick and easy. Our French bread pizzas are in our deli.
Okay.
They are so good, and this is something that you can have done in 10 minutes or less, right?
Yeah.
So
Never
simple.
bought that either.
No, either have I.
These
You
are
haven't
good.
tried this one
No.
yet?
No.
Oh, this is okay. This is
I haven't tried any of this.
No.
And I shop at Macy's.
Yes.
well. I'm so glad
So,
I'm here.
yeah,
Like,
I
we
am
need
too.
to
See the
let
blue
me
sticker and know that it's
let me show you. Let me
Oh,
show you my
okay.
hacks. You know.
Thank you.
And then one other thing that you absolutely have to try.
Yes.
No.
Okay,
Yes?
I do this.
Okay,
Yes.
so these are our smoked ribs, and these are smoked in-house. Our ribs and our brisket smoked overnight.
So good.
Oh, so good. And
Okay.
this is our signature sticky sauce, so you're not going to find that anywhere else, and it is so good.
So is that pre-cooked? So I just have to warm it, or
You
do
just
I
have
need to
warm
grill it?
So you just have to warm it. And
Okay.
then we also have the little station, the smoked meat station, so you can pick it up warm. But
I
if
have
not,
seen that, but once again, I'm like all nervous to try something new.
Oh.
so
I know, it's like once you reach a certain age of life, you're like,
Right.
I should be giving other people advice, but I haven't even figured it out myself.
No, yeah, you're talking to a non-cooker here.
But this is so yummy, and everyone in the family loves this, especially the
fast.
guys.
My
And
kids
fast,
would
right?
love
You can put like
Okay, I
all
need to
3
do
of these
that.
together.
Well, you can even do
Right?
this. I think this even comes in a half rack.
It does. It does.
And
then
some
there's
of
the
those
brisket,
medley
yes.
little potatoes that I've seen, and then I could just throw that in the microwave.
A bagged salad.
A bagged
Or
salad.
your fresh produce.
Fresh
Right.
produce, which we work with as many local
I love
farms
that.
as possible. That's one of the advantages of going local with Macy's, right? Is that we try and source with every local provider that we possibly can. So
That's
local
awesome.
farmers, local vendors, local products. You'll
Okay.
find those when you come to Macy's.
We actually had a problem with Macy's last year. We may have over purchased pumpkins.
I did. I love your pumpkins that you get.
are so
the
cute.
ornamental pumpkins.
Yes.
I'm obsessed with them. When I see the pallets bringing them, I don't care what.
She's had them like
when it
get them
is.
out. She's like, oh,
Yes.
I just need to start going through.
And I'll be like, could you get that pallet down? Like, there's some good pumpkins in there. So fun.
And a lot of those are local too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They
this
source
is what
those
I've heard.
locally. And
Yes.
they're so cute. You're right. To put
Yeah,
them on
I'm
all
obsessed.
over your porch.
Yeah.
And
Yes,
You guys
she
do a
does have the
great job.
cutest porch in Spanish Fork.
During that time because of your pumpkins. So thank you.
And that season is truly upon us. I mean, it's back
Yeah,
to
we're
school. It
almost
is time
there.
to decorate.
They do
It's all the
start to
things.
come.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, I love this though because a lot of times I'll like make my shopping list and then I get it home and then I'm like, that's too hard for tonight. And so I love that maybe I just can buy enough for 3 meals and then run down one night and say, I'm going to
is
grab
not
that.
too hard.
Right.
This is so easy. It's
Right.
like 350, 5-10 minutes, right? Just cook it, and then slice it up for the kids. Throw some vegetables on the side.
Yes.
Yeah.
And to have just in the fridge because I have a husband and a son that's old enough that they could do that on their own. They could throw that in without me.
They could even do this.
They could do that without
Bingo.
me.
And
Or
maybe,
that.
and maybe this
And maybe
too.
even that, right?
Maybe this
Because I
too.
bet it's
It's
like
already done.
$3.75 for 30 minutes.
Good.
Yeah.
Then I don't even have to cook. Perfect.
Exactly.
You just get swig, pick up the rack, and then you're good
and
to
then
go.
take it home.
Yeah.
We also have a lot of great deals in store right now for all of the back to school shopping. So, you know, when you come to Macy's, you're also going to get great deals, good savings. So everything from granola bars to goldfish
Yeah,
to your
school
pudding.
lunch.
Yes,
Yes.
all of the school lunch things. And then even just those snacks to hold them over while you're waiting to do a dinner.
Right.
So great deals at Macy's right now too. So you can check that out by visiting our website at Macy's.com. Of course, that's Macy's with an E. And then you can go to our, yes, very important. There is a big difference. We like the other Macy's too.
Yes, the department store clothing is great too.
Yes, but Macy's with an E, and then you can find our weekly ad there.
Okay.
Perfect.
This is.
Yeah, this gives me hope
I know,
that I can
yeah.
start a new fall and try and cook again. Yes,
What
I
are
got
you
this.
putting in your lunchbox this year? Just, I mean, you have some great hacks for the dinner table. I'm just curious to know. I'm always at a loss when I'm packing a lunch box for school. Or do you do
yeah.
a bento box?
You know, I do a little bit of everything, but one thing that I love to incorporate is, again, at Macy's, we make things so easy. We have our fresh cut fruit. So you can take that, our fresh cut veggies. Another thing, I should have brought it in. I really should have brought it to show you. Have you tried our smoked salsa?
No.
Smoked salsa?
So we talked about smoked meats.
Right.
They're taking our salsa and they're smoking that as well.
Oh my
So it's like a
gosh.
roasted flavor.
So good.
Oh, that makes my mouth
Wow.
water. I must be hungry.
So good. Well, and of course, salsa and fresh salsa, and then they're smoking it.
I do love Macy's salsa.
I do too.
It is
It is good.
honestly divine.
And
So-
my friend, like I love the chunks, but we went to a friend's house and I'm like, oh, where's this salsa from? It's great. And she said, it's Macy's. She just gets the little hand blender and kind of like blends it up so it's not so chunky. It's a little more,
a little finer.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
no wonder it's so good. It's my same
and that's
salsa.
like cooking once again.
Exactly. Yes, I cooked. I made the salsa. So,
This time, yeah, next time we go, we're going to pick the salsa over the King Kong cone. Right?
okay,
Or,
yes.
or
Or
both.
both.
Yeah.
There you go.
You know, you've got the Kong cone. I'm a big fan of the Dole Whip as well.
Oh.
I did not know you had Dole Whip.
Yes.
For reals?
We do.
Why do I feel like this is a new store in
Okay.
town?
You're going to have to, yes, you're going to have to
Oh,
come
we
back
just
and
needed to
educate us
venture out.
again.
Thank
Next
you,
time I'll
Sarah.
bring in Dole Whip.
Okay.
It's a date. Thanks so much, Sarah.
Thank you.
Thanks, ladies.
Coming up next on Studio Chatter, do you have a child that needs a boost in self-confidence? Stay with us. Welcome back to Studio Chatter. Even with school starting, the kids need some good physical activities, especially those that help build self-confidence. Welcome Avery Higginson, the director of Esprit de Corps Dance Company, to our table.
Hello,
Welcome.
Avery.
for having me.
Thank you. You may be one of our youngest guests ever.
Really?
I know.
Right?
And I think I've known Avery since she was just a little baby.
I've got to ask, how
Yeah.
old are you?
20.
And you're like running Esprit de Corps.
Yeah, well,
mean, kind
I
of.
have a lot of help, but yeah.
But you're like it. Like,
Yeah.
you're a big deal over
So
there.
yeah, tell us a little bit about how you're connected to EDC and
Okay.
what you kind of do there.
So my grandma actually started Esprit de Corps, and then, you know, my aunt ran it for a while, and now I just direct it. So I grew up dancing there my whole life.
So like when you were probably
Wow.
3 years old, you were...
2. 2. Yeah.
So her grandma is Leanne Hills, and then your aunt Joni Holmes
Yep.
now
Yeah.
ran it, and now it's just generation to generation.
So Joni still owns it right now.
Right.
So I just direct
You just
it for
help
her.
run.
But yeah, it's
which is a
awesome.
huge responsibility
Yeah.
and so awesome.
That
And
is
Avery's a
huge.
beautiful dancer too. I've watched her through the years, so that's kind of fun. And you danced for the high school on the drill team.
So I danced for the Spanish work drill team for 4 years as well. So yeah.
That's so awesome. I remember back in the day, I mean, a little bit of history there. So when we moved to Spanish work, I had no idea. Like, I grew up in Provo, I knew the dance teachers there. And so my back behind neighbor had some girls, and I'm like, do they dance? And she goes, yeah, actually, we signed them up with Leanne Hills, and I had no idea who that was. And I'm like, give me your number. So we signed up, and Miss Leanne was doing the dance studio in her basement. She had a wood
Yeah.
floor down there and a big wall of mirrors, and it was so fun. But from the get-go, I just loved her, and I love that feeling
Yeah.
of that hometown that she really cared about and wanted to build confidence. And
Yeah.
so
Yeah, so she started that in her basement and then eventually bought a studio, and we've been there ever since, so it's awesome.
So do you feel like that's what you do all the time? Like you've just been dancing?
Yeah, I do. I mean, I've danced my whole life. I went to drill team, and then I started teaching. That was like my very first job right out of high school. So this year I actually just barely started a dental assisting job. So when I'm not at the studio, I just am teaching. So
So when you think
awesome.
back over your dancing career, has it built confidence, self-confidence? Like,
Oh, for
what
sure.
has that looked like to you?
Well, getting on a stage is hard. You
Yes.
know, it's super hard, and so when you have all this pressure to like look so good, it's hard, and so sometimes it kind of strays girls away. They don't really want to do the whole dance part. So our whole goal is to kind of build their confidence at the studio, so that they are able to go on stage and perform to their best of their abilities. So
can you tell, I mean, I always look back, and with my two daughters, Mallory was a perfectionist. Like, she wanted to do it right, and so sometimes she hated making the mistakes. Mackenzie was really, really shy. And I remember one of our first dances with Miss Leanne, and she had to be in this little flower pot type thing, and then they're supposed to come out, and she just like stayed tucked in there. The second year comes around, we were standing, and then she was supposed to tap, and she just looked down the whole time and did tap. So we eventually, and then she made the drill team. But like, so impactful that you take those children, and she just kind of worked with her and allowed her to, you know, take it step by step. Do you see those kids that come in, and how do you handle those shy ones? Or do you bring them to the front? Do you let them stay where they are?
Honestly, it's kind of hard because they're so, you know, they've never experienced anything like that. So my biggest thing is creating a like one-on-one relationship. Like, I get to know their family, I get to know other things about themselves, and once they kind of like trust you, then you are able to build the other side of like, when they're out there, they have that like connection with you, so you're able to kind of like, hey, come on, you got to do this, and you're teaching them certain ways to build self-confidence, and so when they have that foundation of a friendship sort of type thing, and then you're adding in all the other things, they blossom into this like
it's just kind of like building on top of each other.
Yeah.
So what kind of programs do you offer? Like, if you had maybe a 3-year-old or a 5-year-old or an 8-year-old, what could you register them for?
So we start ages from 2 years old all the way to 18, and we do a lot of recreational classes and also competition classes. And so with our recreational classes, they usually come to about once a week, unless they're wanting to do acro and tumbling, they can come to those classes as well. So we also offer
Oh, you do? Okay.
acro and tumbling.
Okay, acro means acrobat.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm
it's
like,
just
what?
new to us.
Yeah,
It's like a
that's
new
a new
added.
one.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah. So just backhand springs,
Okay.
chin stands, things like that. We offer all of
Because
those
that's
things.
like new now, like in dance. Like
Yeah.
you kind of have to have some of
Yeah,
that. Okay.
yeah, aerials, those tricky things that the judges like. But and then for our competition teams, we have like teams that are coming 15 hours a week. But there's also girls that want to do competition, but they're not like to that level yet. They
Yes.
don't really want to spend that many hours at the studio. So we've offered a competition team where they come twice a week and they do like half of the competitions that our other teams do. And so it's half
a
the time,
really
but
great idea.
also half the money and expenses and
Right,
things like
because
that.
maybe
So-
they have
expensive.
other things like
It is
soccer or
expensive.
something, and so then that gives them
right.
balance.
So it's kind of hard when they want to do more than recreation classes, but they can't do competition.
Right.
Or we have girls that have been dancing their whole lives, and then they go and try out, and it's their first year, and it's like you can't really put them with girls that have been dancing for so long on a competition team.
Right.
So we've made this team that it allows all of those
For that
things.
balance.
With
Yeah.
you and Barrett, like just that she's so good at dancing, but she also has her interests in.
In figure skating.
Yeah,
and
she's so
yeah.
good.
I mean, I think there is maybe like some sort of a balance, or girls get to a certain age and they're like, well, maybe I want to do this, or maybe I want to do this, or academics sometimes come into play,
Right.
or I mean, there is sometimes a lifestyle where
Right.
you're like, oh, or I need to choose this, or there's even solos sometimes, or I mean, and I think pursuing different things sometimes maybe it totally, I mean, it depends on the girl, it depends on the
Yes.
family, it depends on finances, it depends
Right.
Right.
on so many variables for everyone. So I would probably ask then, if somebody was making a change even with studios, maybe what makes, what stands out with your studio?
I would say we definitely focus on confidence. Like, confidence is so huge nowadays in everything, and so we really focus on that. Like, I mean, that doesn't mean that we're not pushing them
Right.
and things like that, but we definitely focus on that, and we always want there to be a spot for a girl. So we're never going to turn a girl away if there isn't a spot for her on the team, or if we always want to make sure that there's a spot for each girl.
Okay.
And just allowing anyone and everyone at our studio, and just really focusing on the confidence building.
Okay. Tell us where you are. Where is this
So we
free decor?
are at 1211 Expressway Lane,
Okay.
and that's just right behind the old Kmart. It's just kind of like a
And Wendy's
Now we're
kind of up
Coin
that way.
Crazy
yes,
and
right
yeah,
there.
the Maplewood
it's
events.
just
you
on that
kind
little
of
strip
around.
mall. So yeah.
And I know, and how important, I know that my girls went from EDC and then tried out for the drill team. How important is that to have a good foundation in dance, to be able to make some of those high
So-
school teams?
We actually really push our girls to go on to high school sports. Like, that's just one thing that we feel like is super important, is when you go into high school, like, be involved in those things. So we really push. So if you are wanting to go on to drill team or cheer, whatever you're wanting to do, we really push you to do like a super competitive team, because we're competitive, but then when you go into high school,
It's a whole nother
it's a
level,
whole nother
right?
it's a whole other level. So we are training our dancers to go on to that.
To be able to transition.
You're definitely
make a team.
preparing them
Yeah.
for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is really important. There's got to be an end goal. Either you're doing dance just to love it,
Right.
you're doing it to compete, but a lot of the girls are trying to get better so they can eventually move
Right.
on to that, or maybe to college
Yeah.
after that.
And some girls don't, and that's totally fine. Like,
Right.
of course we'll keep them, and then some girls, just do it to love it, and so
Right.
we just
All different levels, like you said.
Yeah.
Oh, how I miss watching my girls dance. So there's nothing like it. It's just such a neat way to express
Yeah.
yourself, and
And
that
build
confidence.
friendships.
Build friendships for sure. How many carpools we had
Yeah,
with our girls,
lots of
and
carpools.
Yeah.
that's all part of it. And the drill trips and the dance trips.
Yeah.
And
It's so
One of
fun.
my daughters, the reason we got her into dance, she was probably like, I want to say 7 or 8, so maybe 9. So a little later
Yeah.
than starting at 2. But we were camping, and grandma, aunts and uncles, cousins, we were all dancing around the campfire. My husband just had like the 80s music playing, we're all dancing, and she was too embarrassed to get up and dance. And I just like, okay, even if you go to dance lessons, to dance around a fire, to have that confidence that you can just have rhythm and move. So I just think it's just, and she ended up on the high school drill team.
Yeah.
So.
Because you can gain confidence in all different ways, but this is definitely
you need to
like
practice
another
and learn.
aspect.
So
I think it carries through in life even.
It does.
Yeah.
So.
lots of lessons.
Yeah.
So
I think it's great, and I love that you guys have been in the community for so long, and it's going through generations of teaching.
It does. We have like girls bringing their babies, and they're like, we grew up dancing
Yes.
here, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's so cool.
So Avery,
really is
before
neat.
we wrap up, you said that open registrations right now, and if someone comes in and mentions that they...
Yes, so if anyone was, watching Studio Chatter and they come in to register, it'll be a free registration.
Okay.
So
Wow,
yeah.
That's
free
cool.
registration, moms.
Yep.
Free.
Yes. This time of year, that's huge. Yeah, and a great
Thanks,
studio,
Avery.
great
Yeah.
people. Thank
Good
you.
luck. Good luck this upcoming
Thank
year with
you.
all your
Thanks so
girls.
much.
Thanks for having me.
There's more coming up on Studio Chatter. Welcome back to Studio Chatter. Since we were talking back to school, what are some of your memories of going back to school?
This is a good one.
This is.
I almost want to sing this song.
What one?
Like Adam Sandler's Back to School. I don't know why. It just makes me
Well,
feel silly.
go ahead, Natasha.
No, I'm
Sing
good.
for us.
I'm really
Yes,
good. No, but I just, for me, like, there's a couple sets of memories because there's the very distinct elementary school memories and then middle school and high school.
They're
and
all separate.
And it's
Yeah, they are.
mostly around clothing and what you're going to
Mine
wear.
was like
Well,
emotions.
Yeah, really? Okay, so like I just remember like everything that going back to school was like in elementary school was corduroys. Do you remember the corduroy
Yes.
pants?
Yes, I do.
And sweaters in elementary school. Going back to school in sweaters when it was way too hot to go
I
back
do
in
remember
sweaters.
that. Like the day before you're wearing shorts and a tank top.
Right?
And then
But
that
then the
first
next
day you
day-
wear that, and then the next day after that, then you go back to your shorts.
Yeah,
But that
like
first day of
corduroys
school
and
outfit.
sweaters, like from Sears, and a really
Sears.
bad and a really bad perm. You're like, why are you doing
Yes,
this
the
to
perms.
me? And a weird like sheepskin vest or
So
something.
what was your favorite elementary year?
I remember kindergarten was really neat because our kindergarten classrooms connected, but they had this big, huge wooden playhouse that looked like a tree house in it. And it was so cool we could play in there, and I remember that. And then also, I was chosen to go in the back sometimes and put together puzzles. Like, you know how kids will play with puzzles and the pieces get everywhere? Like, if you were done with your work, then he'd let you go back and like organize the puzzles. Guys, I was an organizer back then. That sticks out in my mind.
And now look at her, she's
that's
organizing
good.
people's
That's
closets
really
Like, it
now.
was just, it was
Yeah.
a feel-good like year, and I think I was really nervous, and I lived right across the street from the school, so I walked across the street.
I wonder if our
and-
favorite memories will be the years where we were chosen for something or picked out.
Yeah.
Because it's
It
when
felt
you're,
good.
you're building your confidence and who
Right.
you are, and you're
Yeah.
like, you won this, or you're being recognized
Yeah.
for this, and you're like,
Yes.
I'm
Yes, maybe.
someone. Like I mean someone.
Yes.
Like we're in this
Yes.
school of 800 people. But
and I got chosen
mean,
to be
yes.
the puzzle builder,
Yeah.
right?
Good job, Angie.
Right?
Yes, 4th and 5th grade, really good years. I won the spelling bee.
You did?
Yes.
4th grade. You may have never heard of this one. I was the eraser tag champion.
Yay!
Did you have that?
No, but I won hopscotch. I was the hopscotch champion.
You know how you'd have desks all over your classroom?
Yes.
You'd put the eraser on your head.
Yeah.
And then you just play tag.
Tag.
But I think because my posture was so straight,
Yes,
I could
Stacey?
cruise around and that thing never
yes.
fell. I felt like a champion.
That
see
does
that.
not
I can
surprise me
see
at all,
that.
Stacey.
Yes.
I need to
Yep.
practice that
Right.
one. Okay, in 2nd grade though, my teacher was Mrs. Wilcox, and you know Brad Wilcox, who's
Yes.
like, in our nice speaker and everything. Anyway, he came and taught us songs, and then years later, when he's now a big time speaker and stuff for the
Yeah.
church, that was my elementary school teacher's son.
Oh,
Crazy huh?
connection.
Yeah, connection. And then I remember that from 2nd
Let's
Oh
go
my
to junior
gosh.
high.
Okay. So hang on, stand by for 1 second.
elementary.
No, that just brought up. Do you remember though when it was like a big deal? Maybe it wasn't a big deal for you gals, but it was a big deal when you were picked to be a lunch worker.
Yes.
Oh,
And you got extra food.
and you got chocolate milk on Fridays.
And the peanut butter bars were so good.
Why didn't we
Way
get
back
chocolate
then?
milk every day?
No.
like
I
they
don't
do
know.
now?
Peanut butter.
And you loved it. You loved to go serve the food.
oh my
it was like such an
gosh.
honor.
hairnet and everything.
Yeah.
Not.
It was
not
a special
cool.
day.
No,
That was
not
so
cool.
good.
You potato tots were awesome.
Yes. And the taco boats. I love the taco boats.
You also talked about walking across the street to school. I did not walk across the street. I actually rode the condensed bus.
To elementary
There's
or
a
to junior
condensed
high.
bus?
It was the short bus, okay?
Down in Nephi, there probably wasn't very
There
many
wasn't
kids
very
going.
many kids.
I lived in the West Fields, so it was, out in the county.
Right.
So it had, not as many children, so it was the smaller bus.
And it probably was a long ride.
Yeah.
Well, not only was it a long ride, it was, they only would go in a perfect square. So if you were out of the square, I also had to walk a little bit to the bus stop, to the airport road. So I had to walk down the highway a little bit.
Natasha.
It was not good, especially on
That was like
snowplow
walking
days.
up and up hills both ways in the snow. That's that kind
It
of
really
story.
was, yes. And if you even remember some of the church films, you might remember Cypher in the Snow. Yes,
That's you?
yes. On a bad snowy
Well,
day,
I was
yes.
awful to my dad. So in our neighborhood, I didn't feel like I had a really close friend. In junior high, you're just weird. You're so insecure. You just need your
Right.
friends, and that's just so important. So my dad would drive me down to my friend's bus stop, which was a mile away, so that I could ride the bus on her bus.
That's a
Is that
good
just?
date.
I
That's
mean,
a good dad.
my dad, fabulous. But why? Why did I do that to him? But kids, that's where I met my husband, was on that bus.
You met Rhett on the bus?
On the bus, on my friend's bus route. If I had never rode that bus,
You would have maybe met him in
never
high
met him.
school itself instead
instead of junior high.
of junior high.
Crazy. Huh?
So
Junior high was stirrup pants.
it was what?
Stirrup pants.
And a spree.
Oh my
Yes.
God. Stirrup pants.
Stirrup
Units.
pants. Units. Oh my word.
They were just like square cloth.
Yes.
And you put them on and they looked
the
horrible.
bands like the.
So we moved. I was in halfway through 6th grade when our family moved from Salt Lake down to Woodland Hills.
Okay.
So I was big city Salt Lake, and I went to Spanish Fork Junior High. You guys, and I tell this story at the junior high kids now that when I go there, I come down to school in Levi Strauss, a polo, my collar up,
Oh,
wearing
no.
penny loafers. This whole city
Oh, no.
in 1980
Was cowboy.
and mullets and boots and Wranglers.
Uh-oh.
And I got mocked for the rest
You
of the year.
did?
Like they named a week after me and March. So now I look back and it's
Cool.
bullying. No,
Right.
it was
Oh,
bullying.
it was bullying. So they
It
were
was-
really
But then
mean.
7th grade, guess how everyone was dressed?
Like you.
They had their little polos and penny loafers.
that we are like maybe a year behind.
Oh.
But now we're current.
Now we're yeah.
very current.
Yeah,
yes. But back in the day,
that was painful.
Yes. But high school, Gerbos, Z Cavaricis.
And Calvin Klein, right?
guys, we were
Guess?
kind of guess.
Oh, guess for
But
sure.
then we
Yes.
went real granola. Like my junior year, we were like Birkenstocks and cut off shorts, and we kind of at Timpview we kind of went that,
was
route
the stuff.
a little bit.
What year did you graduate?
In
94?
92.
Okay, yeah. My
I think that was
sister-in-law
more
was-
Tint View.
Maybe. I mean,
it was
we
kind
dressed
of
up, but it was kind of like that
the
grunge.
Birkenstocks, Doc Martens, and now they're
yes.
back. I have Birkenstocks
totally.
now.
I do too, and I
know.
love them. Why didn't
Yes.
I keep my old ones? Yeah.
Oh, the styles just come and go.
Yeah, but you know what I miss about high school back then is like the dances. They took the pictures at the dance, which
Yes.
I mean,
Oh my
I
word!
love
Somebody
how
was
they do
talking
it a
about
little
this
bit.
the other day. I
But
totally
it made
agree.
it so simple. You brought your
Yes.
$10. Your whole group came in together. You took your pictures. You stayed at the dance. You
Convenient.
danced at the dance. Like it was really awesome. I want them to bring that back.
Yeah, well, I
Pictures of the dance.
agree.
Yeah.
Now that it's off-site and planning it completely different than from the dance.
Yeah, and
You
stag
maybe actually
dances.
dance.
And you have to plan your whole photographer.
You do.
Like, just have the photographer there.
Right.
I agree.
And then we had those backdrops, you know, when it was more, we had like a car
Yes,
against like
yes.
a graffiti backdrop or
That's
something.
exactly what we had too.
Yeah.
Those
So
were
maybe
high
we should
schools were
help
good.
them make it cool again.
Yeah, we should.
We could. Maybe we could photo.
Make
Ooh,
it cool
Pete.
at school.
our producer Pete can be the new high school dance photographer.
Yes, let's do it.
Hey guys, Matt Christensen's on his way next, who's the principal at Spanish Fork High
We
School.
should ask him
we'll
about
talk
it.
to him, let him know to hire Pete back there.
And then that helps the parents.
We're just
and they're
really
not
gonna
having to
help
figure out
everybody.
photographers.
You're
It's
welcome.
a plan.
Yep. I like it, guys. Done.
Well, good luck everyone going back to
Yeah.
school.
Yep. Create some good memories.
Absolutely. What changes will be happening in our schools? Stay with us for the answers. Welcome back to Studio Chatter. We've been through a crazy year at home and school. What does the new school year offer and how do we prepare? Welcome Matt Christensen, the principal of Spanish Fork High School, to the hot seat.
Hello, Matt.
Hello, Matt.
Welcome.
Thank you for having me. This is exciting.
It is exciting for us because there's so much happening at Spanish Fork High School right now.
There is.
Let's dive in. You start.
Well,
You're
last
excited.
year it was COVID. This year I feel like we're COVID, new stadium, construction. You've got a lot of moving parts over there at the high school. So should we talk COVID first?
Yeah, let's get
What does
that.
that look like this year?
Well, first of all, we're so excited to kind of be past. I mean, I know we're still in COVID to a certain degree, but we're so grateful to be out of mask and see faces. Today I was at a soccer game and I saw some girls that I literally hadn't seen in a year. I even made that comment to them, like, I have not seen your face in a year, and
Oh my
it's good to see you.
gosh.
So that was fun. We've already started, golf's already kicked off and going. Girls soccer, boys have a game this week in football. Our cheer
Wow.
drill's been on the field,
Okay.
band. So as far as the new stadium, there's, and what the year's looking like, it's phenomenal because we're not testing. So last year, the reason I bring that up is all of those activities we would have to test.
Yeah, we did.
So we'd have to, do the nose swab and do the testing, and we'd have to have those tough conversations like, I'm sorry, you won't be able to play this
Oh,
week. And
boy.
that was a challenge for us. It was hard on the athletes, but it was really hard on me as a principal to tell a student, you can't be here right now.
Right.
And
This
that-
is their time. This is their year. Some of those seniors, like, this may be my last time. So I'm sure this year everyone's feeling like,
Yeah.
okay, here we go.
Yeah. And
We're starting out good.
Yeah, so we're starting with, there's an energy of being out of COVID without the mask, but then on top of that, like you said, Angie, we've got a new stadium. So we want to invite everybody to come out.
Yeah.
And
It is gorgeous.
it's unbelievable.
Do you
It
just love
really
it?
is.
We do, and our coaches, the kids, I mean, they're so excited. They're like little kids at Christmas running
Yeah,
out on the
yeah.
field. And so
Did
it's
they
been-
let you have any say?
Yeah, we were
Oh,
a
really?
big part of the process.
Oh,
Our
cool.
superintendent staff was so good of letting us with the designs, and we really worked with them on certain features that we wanted.
Okay.
The scoreboard was really driven with boosters, and there are some big donors, so we want to thank them, and we'll have an opportunity later this year. We're going to invite them to the stadium. But
And that's going to be great for like all the different activities, not just the football team. Like when there's track there, they can put their stats up on that board. It's just going to be so awesome. And then the lights. There's a lighting feature where they can like blink different colored lights and stuff all throughout the whole stadium. It's so
we've
cool.
had some fun. We actually have an app on our phone, and we were out there, as me and my admin team, and we were just playing and shooting the lights.
gosh, how
The
fun.
kids, there were some football players were down there, and they were just, we can strobe the lights, and we can
Oh,
go red,
fun.
and just, so when we have like a dance activity or drill
Yeah,
teams out there
right.
or band, we can
Just
really-
enhance that for
Yeah.
them.
So
It's
tell
gonna
us,
be
when's
so
your first
cool.
football game?
So it is Friday night, this Friday.
What's the date on that?
So,
13th.
Yes.
Yep, the 13th,
Ooh.
Friday
Home
the
game,
13th.
okay.
We've got Cedar
Okay.
City's coming to town, and so that's our first game. Today we actually had our first game, soccer, our girls soccer. I just came from there.
Oh,
and we
okay.
won. Congratulations.
Oh, go,
Yeah,
Dons.
2-0. They went and rang the victory bell. They were so excited.
So
It
have
was
we
fun.
brought the victory bell over, or what are our
Yes,
plans
we
with that?
moved it last week, so
Okay.
it's right on the southwest corner. You won't miss it. When you come in, you'll see it. It's
Okay.
right there, and we'll repaint it up, and we have some things to restore it, but
Good.
it's there.
Very exciting. I want to circle back to COVID. Let's say someone does come down with COVID, then what's the protocol?
So great question, and I'm getting that question a lot. Like, what does it look like? Very different from last year. Here's the big piece I think that will be
Okay.
good for all parents and community members to know. So if we have a positive case, let's say in the classroom, when we find out about that, our responsibility is just to communicate that, hey, your son or daughter has been in close contact for more than 15 minutes in an indoor setting. And at that point, these are all recommendations. They're not requirements. So the
Okay.
CDC guidelines are, so there's not a whole lot of teeth with it. It's just saying, hey, we recommend this, but if you've had a vaccine, no worries. If you've had COVID in the last 90 days, you're fine. If you don't have those 2 prongs, it's recommended that you wear a mask or that you stay home. Again, it's not required. I'm not going to be going through the school, or the school nurse really won't be going through the school checking
So it'll
and
kind of be
saying,
on your honor, and you
Right.
decide what's best for your health. So we've let you know what the situation is, and then play it safe the best way that you can for
Exactly.
yourself and others.
and if there's any symptoms, obviously if there's symptoms, we'd encourage them to just
Totally.
monitor those. And
So we're not starting out with masks this year then, as of right now.
no masks, yes.
And
So
remote
great.
learning is still an option. You still have remote teachers?
So so remote
Ish.
learning is in place. So for those, if you come down with a positive case, so then we would provide remote learning with our teachers. But if a parent just doesn't feel comfortable being in the school setting right now, it's not called remote learning. So there is an option, but it's not going to be ran through our teachers.
Through another.
Yeah.
Because that was, I just commend how you guys ran last year, because that was a lot of hard work and a lot of endurance to be able to do both of those things. So I really commend all the
Yeah.
teachers out there and the administration for how you guys were able to do that. I don't know how that they were managing running both of those aspects. So I hope that they get a nice fresh break and they can just be in the classroom with those kids
Yeah.
this year.
Our teachers, they work, I appreciate you saying that, Angie. They worked so hard and they were exhausted by the end of the year. We were kind of limping in.
Yeah.
And we needed that summer break. The summer before, we really didn't get a break because
No.
of the COVID fear and everything we were planning and preparing. But you're right, there's teachers. It was a heavy lift, and that's what we're excited about is let's just
cool.
get back, normal learning and get back to that high school experience that we
right,
want those
right.
kids to have.
Yeah.
for
Yep.
sure.
Well, and I can imagine in your position, it's literally a year-round job anyway. I don't know that you get much of a summer break anyway. So when you come back in the fall, what is the number one thing that you look forward to?
Oh, I love the energy. So we'll have teachers back in a week, and they bring a different energy. Because right now it's just me and my admin team, a few secretaries. It's actually kind of boring.
It's kind of quiet.
Yeah, it's quiet, right? And it's nice for a little bit, but once June's over, you're like, okay, we want to see some kids. The teachers come back, a little energy. The kids walk in day one, and it's on. We love it. That's the energy. Even last year with the masks, and I talked about this at graduation, I was panicked. Like, what? How are the kids going to respond? They walked in and they had their masks on, but the energy,
Yeah,
and I
you
knew
could
we
feel
were
it.
going to be okay.
Good.
I knew we were
They were really rock stars, the kids last year too. I think they really tried to obey the rules and
Yeah, they were
still have
phenomenal.
an experience.
Yeah.
Can you talk about how the next year or two is going to look at Spanish Fork High School? How is it going to move around?
construction, right?
There's a lot of moving parts. So if you've been down around you've noticed we obviously no longer have the back parking lot. That's where the stadium is. We created a temporary parking lot over close to the pool, and so if you've been through there, I apologize. There's a mess, and we're just
tricky,
we're
right?
just trying to navigate through that. But really, for the parking over the next 3 years, not a whole lot's going to change. What you're going to see in the near future is this fall you're going to see the pool start being ripped down, which has been
So sad, so
Controversial.
iconic.
no, we're going to lose the pool. You're going to see the old stadium start being torn down, and you're going to be seeing a lot of dirt being brought in on the practice fields. We need to. They've told us up to 6 feet of backfill.
Wow.
Just bringing in, so you can imagine all the dirt that needs to come in and get prepped.
Because the school is going to actually sit back in those practice fields.
Exactly.
In that,
They don't need to pull the
northwest
grass up or
corner.
anything, right? They'll just put dirt over it?
Yeah, if you notice, we stopped watering. They're just
Okay.
going to let that die, and they don't want to water too much. They want to be able to bring that dirt
Okay.
in and compact it. And by right after Christmas, this upcoming Christmas, you'll actually see, we'll start digging the foundation, and you'll start to see a little bit of the building.
So you should open up fall 24?
Yes.
Okay.
So a good way to remember that, think of the incoming sophomores. They will be our last group to graduate at Spanish Fork High.
I feel like everyone needs to take a brick or something like that, right?
Yeah, that's cool.
I think there's something we can do for sure, and
I
maybe
think we should.
We, have
Or
that.
have a brick wall inside the new high school with the old
With
brick.
just the
a good idea.
remaining.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Oh,
So a lot of
Wow.
excitement. The next 3 years is just going to be so fun to see that come up. And the blueprint for this new building is phenomenal.
Is
It's
it?
an amazing school. And I'm a Spanish Fork grad, and
Yes.
so
Right.
I'm going
I
to
am
miss
too.
that part as well.
Right.
But this new school is going to be amazing.
something special. Is it 2-story?
It is.
Okay. What's one of the coolest features
Yeah.
that you could tell us about?
Well, as soon as you walk in, you'll walk in the front doors and there's this huge commons area. I mean, massive, and just double decker so you can see upstairs, and just a massive gathering place. I think for high school kids, you get to school and before you go to class, there's just this large gathering area. We can have dances in there.
Really?
Just a very unique
So
area.
I'm also a Spanish Fork High School graduate, class of '89, before your time. But we would walk in the front doors and there was a round room, and it was the toilets.
Yep.
So this sounds like a lot better.
This is a lot better than
I'm getting a good
round
feeling.
room? Oh my heavens!
It was a
I had
blue
no
or
idea.
green round
It
room,
was
right?
blue and it was round, and you'd have to walk around and then be like, oh, there's an opening.
That's
and you'd go
crazy.
in.
Well, I went to Timpview and we did have that big commons area, and we had so many dances. We had cheer practice in there. I think it's a great place for like them to mingle, kind of a community
excited.
center for the high school.
Good
That's
luck.
great. Okay, will the rock remain as well?
Yes, the rock is going. It's already,
course.
KMA has been a big, our architect, and Wes Christensen, he's a local Spanish Fort grad.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And he has made sure, so that's
move?
yeah, it's going
Okay.
to happen, and we're excited. That's a tradition that has to go for
Yes.
sure. So the bell's being moved. We know that's going to be there. The rock's going to be moved. So yes.
Some
luck,
tradition
Matt.
just stays,
Yeah.
which is
Good.
awesome. A
Gonna
little
be
bit of the
fun.
old and the new. Yep.
Well, good luck on the upcoming year. I know it's going to be phenomenal.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks
Exciting.
for coming.
Thanks
Yep.
for having
Thank
me.
you.
Yeah.
Coach C.
There's more studio chatter coming up. Welcome back. We made it. What did we learn today?
That's back to school.
It is certainly back to
some
school.
learning. We learned to cook today.
Yes.
Or how to cook easier.
Yeah.
Okay, right?
We had someone tell us now what to buy when we
Yes, when we go in there, don't be afraid. And that blue label, it's easy. I'm going to try
And
it.
do
and
it.
we can ask them,
We can-
what do I buy with this?
And don't be intimidated.
You don't even have to go in the store. It's so easy.
Okay,
you
this
just
is true,
order.
Natasha.
Yes, you guys. It's
And now I know
so
that you've tried some of
easy.
these things. We maybe need to go talk to the
Talk to
butcher.
the butcher,
Yeah.
though.
and say how long do these skewers need to be cooked actually. We have a meat thermometer, and that's really helped our game on the grill.
We should use ours.
Yeah, you should do that.
I think we have one.
Yep.
They could even do it with steak. If you're really scared of chicken, do it with steak. It's not hard.
Okay.
It's not hard.
Are you ready for the kiddos to be there all day?
Yeah, yeah.
I'm sure all of these parents are
Yes.
ready to.
I mean, I
she's,
know
like,
and
really
yes. I mean,
smiling.
they're lovely children, and it's been.
I just don't like the home. Like, I love that we get back into a routine, but then it's like the homework and all that stuff starts piling. I hate that part
crazy
of the
time.
structure.
5th grade. Like, I don't know.
No way.
Right? Yeah.
Barrett?
Yes. I'm not
That's getting
sure.
old.
Yeah.
So
I'm
she
not-
already missed the eraser tag champ opportunity.
She did. Darn it.
Oh.
Yeah. That sounds big. Like that's
Maybe
a
the
big
spelling
kid.
bee.
Not
Is
sure if I'm
6th
ready for
grade?
that. 6th grade is
Still
junior
in-
high, the new school. It's like the big middle school next year. So
No
that's
way.
kind of heartbreaking.
It's just
gonna
so
be-
sad. I hate when they grow up
gonna be
like that.
big.
It just changes in junior
Yeah.
high. So enjoy this. Enjoy all the 5th grade
Well,
moments.
college. I mean, that's big.
College is huge, guys. I mean, we got him signed up. I'm figuring, like, okay, this is his deal. But then it's like, Bo, do we need to buy books? Like,
Yes,
You know
right.
what I mean? So he got on his UVU thing, and it's like you can buy electronic, you can buy the textbook, you can rent it, you can rent digital. I'm like, I don't even know. So I've got to call Malante and ask him what the best scenario.
Is he moving away from home or is he staying home?
He kind of thought about it with some of his friends, half were like leaving on missions, and then there was a couple that were gonna go and then decided just to work this semester. So he's decided to stay home.
Oh, nice.
But he's coaching the 9th grade football team, so I think it's gonna be okay
And
to
he's
just
going
be
to
around town.
UVU.
Going to UVU.
In class?
He has both. He has one online, one live stream, and then one in class. It's
But
crazy,
he
guys.
kind of did that before, so he
did concurrent and did just fine.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
I actually, in my freshman year of college, I almost wish I would have done a little bit more of like get used to it from home and then transition.
Because it's kind of like that in the workplace a lot.
I think that you can just if you go like. Well, I don't know. Maybe that was my experience, but I moved and I was like, "Woo, friends!" And
Right.
Wait, what? School?
Right.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes.
I mean, I think it's really good to maybe kind of put your foot in the water and
He's going full
not a
board.
bad-
Like
yeah.
he's doing biology, English,
Yee.
and math. It's like a
Mamma
full
mia.
course. Yeah.
Good
so
luck,
we'll
Bo.
see.
Well, I
right.
don't have to buy dorm sheets.
That's true. he may change his mind and move out, and then we're just gonna rush
Maybe
into that.
your Christmas.
Yeah.
I mean, 'cause
Christmas.
we know we're going to talk Christmas soon. Don't you just feel like we just said summer,
Totally.
and now we're back to
So,
school, and
yeah,
now we're going to like
totally.
have our
I think
Christmas
by
show.
next
Yeah.
episode, that was actually going to be a suggestion. So Christmas, like we're already past July essentially.
We were up
so,
in Park
yes,
City this last weekend, and it
mid-year
felt,
shopping
it
for
felt
sure.
like a teeny bit of crispness at moments, and it just was like. Oh my
I mean, we're
gosh, fall and
talking
Christmas.
pumpkin spice lattes already.
Oh my!
We're there. We are there. We are
We
harvesting,
are.
girl.
I mean, we have sunflowers on our table.
Totally.
Yes.
That's August right there.
Back to dance, talking to Avery Higginson.
Yes.
Back a lot of memories.
Yeah, a lot of memories. I love that. I do miss my girls dancing. I do think it brought a lot of confidence to both of them.
Yeah,
I think
I
they're
agree.
stronger, more confident people because
For
of
sure.
that. And able to participate in school stuff, which I think is super important,
Yeah.
no matter what it is.
Well, great show.
Really
Awesome.
great show.
Yep.
Good luck
Yep.
back to school,
Thank you.
Natasha.
And likewise, you know, if ever you are missing it bad enough, you can always borrow the kids. You can make a dance run. You can go
Make
to a
some
soccer game.
lunches.
You
Yes.
can make some lunches. You can take me to lunch.
Oh, okay.
if I'm
Okay.
sad. Thanks for being here with us. We hope you enjoyed the program. Tell a friend about us.